I'm still reeling with excitement at the endless list of games that could be announced for NSO on the GameCube. Join me and let's take a look at the most anticipated GameCube games yet to be released or announced for the Nintendo Switch 2. And if you have any more suggestions, feel free to leave a comment down below. Skymore suggested Wave Race, a game originally released on the GameCube 23 years ago. That is the last entry in the series before it went MIA, and it is hands down the best water sports game ever released. No game has ever topped it since. And it is baffling that the series has been MIA since then. Hopefully if we release the game on NSO, it will renew interest in the series and we may even get a sequel in the future. Man, those water physics were amazing. Moggy's Musing suggested Skies of Arcadia. This is a JRPG originally released on the ill-fated Sega Dreamcast, which due to poor business decisions almost destroyed Sega, leaving them with no choice but to re-release the game on their arch-rival system, the GameCube. This game has also been MIA for 23 years, with no sequel, no word of a remaster. It's just dead. The game lives on in legend only. You know, it's one of those games where, oh, you heard about Skies of Arcadia? Oh yeah, I've heard this and that. It is a game where people only discuss its reputation because not many people have actually played it because it's so hard to come by. It's actually a really expensive game to buy. Moot8104 suggested Phantasy Star Episodes 1 and 2. Now we're talking, because it actually blew up my imagination as to what Nintendo could possibly do with NSO to GameCube in regards to servers. Because it is an online game where you're going to be matching up with strangers to complete missions online. And I do wonder how they would tackle that if it was re-released. And that's not just on Phantasy Star, I'm talking other games with online capabilities like F-Zero GX. Rebecca, and I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong, suggested a few games here. Star Fox Adventures being a big one on the list, and Star Fox Adventures was actually my first introduction to Star Fox in general. I'd never played a Star Fox game before. I've actually got my copy right here. And just to comment on one of his other suggestions, he also suggested Beautiful Joe, which is a game, whilst it was also released on the PlayStation, it is a game I personally associate with the GameCube. The slow motion, the colourful characters, the funny voice acting. I never got that far in the game, however. It was so difficult. I'd love to play it again today. I wouldn't mind it just being remastered instead of being re-released, really. Eastgate James, a regular on this channel, also suggested a few games. Battalion Wars hadn't even crossed my mind. I was shocked when I was a kid reading my magazines when I found out Battalion Wars was actually part of the same franchise as Advance Wars. And actually, I think Battalion Wars actually came before Advance Wars. It's actually a really old series, stretching even further back when the GameCube and the N64. He also mentioned Metal Arms and Spy Hunter. Now, I'd never played either of those games, but Spy Hunter was actually on my Christmas wish list for a number of years. Nobody ever got me it. So, yeah, this will be... Re-releasing these games on NSO would be a great way to reintroduce... Well, just to introduce me to new games I've never played before and renew interest... create new interest in games that have previously been forgotten, like Spy Hunter. Universal suggested Four Swords Adventures, The Legend of Zelda, and also mentioned how hard it was and how much easier it will be to find new people to play this game with. Because there were a lot of struggles back in the day of finding 4 people to come around to your house to play the game, and also I didn't really know that many people who even had 4 GameCube controllers to begin with. And finally, my suggestion, and I really want you to see it, this is my favourite GameCube game. Let me set the scene. A forgotten classic from Software, the studio that's brought you Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and Elden Ring. The game I'm referring to is Lost Kingdoms. And it's a unique one, as it's a card game. You start each level by creating your own deck, deciding how you're going to get through each level, whilst balancing with different types. Make sure you use the correct cards against the correct monsters. Sometimes you throw a card, you'll summon a monster. Sometimes you'll become a monster. It's so wicked. It's a seriously fun game, and I already know I'm underselling it. I hope Nintendo's strong history with From Software and their current partnership with them will create a possibility of this game being re-released on NSO. Although technically, as it was published by Activision, is it them who own... Do Microsoft own the game? I don't know. On Nintendo Switch Online, not just GameCube, but the entire service, I'd love it if each game had its own little server for parties that you could join. You know, if I wanted to say, I wanted to play some Mario Tennis online, for example, I'll just jump on and just say, just create a lobby for anybody that wants to play it, and we'll just go in and play. And that's kind of how I'd like to play Forza's Adventures. I'll just create a lobby online, see who's online, see who wants to play the game with me. I think that would be a lot of fun. And it'd be a great way to meet new people, make new friends, and it'd be just a great way for Nintendo to sort of to move forward in the in the connectivity of modern consoles. Because whilst we can do video chats right now, I think that's only with people that you're only friends with. When you're playing online on Nintendo Switch, it's so difficult to add them as a friend, know who they are, communicate with them. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this week's video. I will see you next week. Bye!